Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na-eja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening once again. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. Over here where I am, it's evening already. Thank you everyone for joining. Agida, Christopher, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining the program. Thank you so much for joining the program. Today we want to talk about the enemy within. As you all know, a lot of trouble that we are facing in the contraption called Nigeria. The problem is we are facing is not just only in the southeast, you see, not just only in Biafra land, also in Oduduwa land, in the Middle Belt, even in the north. The whole place is being ravaged by the Fulani Janjaweeds. They are the common enemy. It is the Fulani Janjaweed that have sworn to destroy every other tribe in that contraption called Nigeria. We will not allow them to change that story. That is the truth and nothing but the truth. It is not a hate speech. It is not a hate speech. When you say Fulanis are responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria, it is not a hate speech. It's the truth. The truth and nothing but the truth. They know it, I know it, you know it. And anybody that thinks that it's a hate speech should go and make verification. Go and find out who are responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. It is the Fulani people. They are the one in charge of every terrorist group you can think of in Nigeria. They are in charge of every insecurity in Nigeria. They are the one who are trying to grab land from every indigenous tribe and take land. They are strangers. They are foreigners. They are not even Nigerians. But the good people of Nigeria welcome them. The Hausas, the good people of the Hausa people, welcome this Fulani Janjaweed when they came into Nigeria. They welcome them. Instead of the Fulani Janjaweed to take that opportunity and be better themselves, what they did there was they turned to terrorists. They were the people that brought terrorism into Nigeria. They turned to terrorists against the Hausas that brought them. They killed the Hausa leaders. They turned the Hausa people against them, engineered them to kill their leaders. The Hausas foolishly killed all their leaders, all in the name of fighting for corruption. That same message of corruption that they are still pushing today. That same message of corruption that late Muhammadu Buhari used to deceive even the present day Nigeria. It is so sad that some people are still sleeping. Why can you be sleeping when you know that the message that people are bringing is anytime you see them accusing people, that is exactly what they do. Today you see the killing that is happening in Nigeria. The Fulani people are the people killing, but when you see them holding their meeting, in their private meeting, I bumped into one of their videos where they were, because I speak Hausa very well and I understand Hausa. In one of their meetings where they were talking about the insecurity in Nigeria and the agitations, they are busy blaming the South of the killing. They are accusing South of killing their people, accusing Biafrans of killing Northerners. When you and I know that there is no record anywhere where the Southerners have killed the Northerners, there's no record anywhere. If you want to talk about the people who are killing each other in Nigeria, it has been the North, and the North. From the onset, the North have been killing people in the southern part of Nigeria. I have lived in the North. I witnessed most of the riots they did in the North. When you hear riot in the North, they are rioting against the Southerners. It's not against themselves. Even when the Metesina were operating, they were operating against the South. There is Kanu riot. It was against the Southerners. Bauchi riot, it was against the Southerners. Kaduna riot, against the Southerners. Jos riot, against the Southerners. Every time they are rioting, it didn't start today. It has started years back. Years back, they have been killing people from the southern part of Nigeria. And who are these people doing this killing? They are the Fulani Janjaweed. It's not even the Hausas. It's not the original Hausa that we know. They are the Fulanis. They are the terrorists. They are trying to push in their own kind of Islam. Their own kind of religion. That is what they want to push. They are not preaching Islam, because we know that in the southern part of Nigeria, we have Muslims, very wonderful and good ones. We have Muslims living in the same family with their fellow Christians, being intermarried in the south. They live peacefully. But that is not the same in the life of a typical Fulani man. They have been killing us and killing us. But today, we want to look into the people who have empowered these people to continue to kill us. It is most of us, some of us in the southern part of Nigeria, we are the people that empowered this Fulani Janjaweed to continue to kill us. Today, everybody is facing that problem. They are killing in the Middle Belt. The Middle Beltans have killed and they have lost tears. They killed in the southwest. People in the southwest are even refugees. They are refugees now in Benin Republic. People in the southwest are refugees in the Benin Republic. In the southeastern part of Nigeria, they are killing. In Biafra land as a whole, in the south, they are killing people. The only single enemy we have in that country called Nigeria are the Fulani Janjaweed. And it is not a hate speech. This is a fact. The truth and nothing but the truth. You cannot hear this truth from the conventional media. Nobody will say it. If you say it in the conventional media, they will call it a hate speech. In the conventional media, they try to paint it, they try to change their name, they baptize them at every time and again, they baptize them. But we know the people who are perpetrating the whole evil. The people in charge of the insecurity that's happening in Nigeria, we know they are the Fulani terrorists. The Fulani terrorists, they call them herdsmen. From herdsmen, they call them bandits. From bandits, we know they are Boko Haram. They organize the Boko Haram, they organize the ISWAP. They are all Fulani. You can see their videos online. See the videos of those bandits, see their videos. They are speaking Fulanese. All of them speak Fulanese. Well armed. Well armed. These are the people who are bringing insecurity in Nigeria. They brought the insecurity, trying to grab land from people by force, by fire. Fulani people. And don't tell me they are foreigners. Don't tell me they are foreigners, because governor of Bauchi State have come to defend them, that all Fulani, wherever they are, that they are the same. The governor of Bauchi State have come to defend them, that Fulanis are the same. Anywhere you see them, any part of the world where you see them, that they are the same people fighting for the same thing. That is why you have to agree with them that they are the same people. Don't tell me they are foreigners. It is these people, these ones inside, they are the ones that invited those ones outside to come and fight along with them. The Fulanis in Nigeria invited all their Fulani brothers from all over West Africa to come and fight with them in Nigeria to take the land and grab it and make the country their own. It is not a hate speech, it is not a propaganda. A governor of Bauchi State said it in a national television that they are trying to bring all Fulanis into Nigeria. And he told us on that very interview that Fulanis are not only Nigerian. Fulanis know themselves as Fulani. They know themselves as Fulani, not just Nigeria. They know each other as Fulani. The video is there out there for you. Next time I'm going to play the video for you to see. The major problem we have are the enemies inside. And when we are talking about this enemy, the Fulanis inside, they are the ones that have invited the ones outside to come and kill. And they are working hand in hand to them. They are the one empowering them. So if anybody is trying to confuse you and tell you, most people that are causing the insecurity are the Fulanis. But the reason why the insecurity is affecting the southeastern part of Nigeria, the southern part of Nigeria, is because the southern part of Nigeria are complicit. We are the ones sponsoring them. We are the one permitting them. We are the one permitting them. These people have agents everywhere. They have agents in the southeast. They have agents in the south-south. They have agents in the southwest. They have agents in the middle belt. They have Biafran agents. They have Oduduwa agents who is working for them, who can kill for them. This is why we are suffering. And we have to be aware of these enemies inside. Enemies within. Enemies within who are working for the Fulanis to make sure that we do not have our freedom. They are making sure that we remain slaves, because the more we remain slaves, the more they themselves remain relevant. The more they make us slaves, the more they themselves remain relevant. You see one of those bastards, one of those idiots from Biafra land, the one that called himself, I don't know whatever they call himself, that came around and was telling that we should forget about talking about leadership, that we should leave leadership for the north. One of the idiots in the southern part of Nigeria, I'm forgetting his name. The video is going viral on internet. Who is talking, telling us to forget about leadership, that we should leave leadership for the north, that the north have the right to rule everybody. And this is the people that some people worship in the southeastern part of Nigeria. They worship them. People worship them. They give him big name, give them big title. These are agents of the Fulani. They are in the southeast. They are in Biafra land. Some of them are Biafrans fighting for Fulanis. They can kill you. That is a Biafran. They will kill you for Fulanis. They are in the southwest. They will kill a southwesterner for the Fulanis. These are the kind of people we have. That is why we have to stand up, wake up, and continue to fight. Don't be silent. And we have to keep our eyes open, eye on the ball. The only target and our focus is our freedom. the freedom of our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom they have kidnapped from Kenya and renditioned into Nigeria. And let me tell you, if you think that they will just release him like that, they will release him easily, unless we do something extraordinary. They took all the risk, paid all huge amount of money, damn all consequences, went to Kenya, kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and sent him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. And today, they are still holding him in DSS. They are torturing him in DSS. Nobody to fight for him. No Britain, no US, nobody, no human right anywhere is fighting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is only you and I that are speaking up. Only you and I are shouting on top of our voice every day, shouting and speaking, crying on to the whole world to know what is going on. And it is you and I that will free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, nobody else. There are so much enemies. So many people among us are working for the Fulani Janjaweed. You have to keep your eyes open and beware of those people. Do not support people simply because they are your parents. Don't support people simply because they are your friend. Don't support people simply because you see them carrying the flag of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Don't support people because you see them wearing the clothes written Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Don't support a platform because you see the picture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu over there. Because you see them calling IPOB. Because you see people shouting IPOB, you lose your conscience and you begin to support them. Even when you know that these people are evil. Just like the Christians used to say, the Bible says, Christ said, test every spirit. The Bible says you should test every spirit before you listen to them. This is the word of a Christian. Those Christians, that this word has to go to everybody, whether you're a Christian or not a Christian. Test every spirit, every platform you go to, anybody you listen to, test them and know what they believe and what they stand for. Test them. Let me tell you, you have nobody to speak for you. No politician anywhere will stand for you. No politician anywhere. Every single politician in the southeastern part of Nigeria, in Nigeria as a whole, every politician that have been selected, because they have never been elected, every politician that is selected, they are selected to serve the caliphate. The British have selected them to serve the caliphate. Have you ever sit down one day and ask yourself, why is it that anytime there's somebody want to be a president in Nigeria, that he will first of all to go and get endorsement in the UK and US? Have you asked yourself why? Why is it that before somebody can contest for presidency in Nigeria and win, he must go to UK first of all? They will endorse him over there. Go to US, they will endorse him before he will now come and contest locally to win. Without you traveling to these places, you can't be a president of Nigeria. Ask yourself why. It is because you don't have power to elect anybody. There is no election happening. What is happening in Nigeria is selection. From head to toe, from top to bottom, they do selection. There's no election anywhere. They select up to your local government chairman, they are selected. When British select your president, they have equally selected your governors. Because it is that same party that the British gave to you, they are the people that are going to give your governors the flag. Before you can even succeed from your party, because there is no independent contestant in Nigeria, before you can succeed in your party, you must first of all bow to the British opinion before your party can give you that flag to go and run. That is why you see all those people who are contesting for president, you see them running to Britain, running to UK, running to US to go and get permission to run their own country in Africa. That is how damaged African country is. And if you think it's going to stop anytime soon, it is not going to stop until we break it up. Until we break it up. Because these people have planted enemy within us. They have planted enemy within us. Every single organization you can think of in that very country of Nigeria, there is no election everywhere. They have planted enemy even up to Ohanes and Igbo. Up to Ohanes and Igbo. Even Afenifere. Look at Afenifere wherever you will see some of their agents. Only that our Oduduwa brothers are much more lucky than the Biafrans. Our Oduduwa brothers are lucky because their leader, the leader of Afenifere, is somebody we respect so much and trust. The leader of Afenifere is somebody that speaks truth, very, very consistent. He has never changed. Pa Ayo Adebanjo. Pa Ayo Adebanjo is somebody that our Sudan Mazinad respect so much. And go and check his record. He has never changed. Our Oduduwa brothers are lucky on that. But in Southeastern region, in Biafra land, more especially when it has to do with Ohanes and Igbo, it is the Janjaweed that select it. Talk of Pandef. Pandef, the same thing in Pandef, in the coastal region. The same thing in referral area of Biafra. The Janjaweed select their leaders. That is why you see the coastal area, the very place they dig up the wealth of that country, up to today, they have nothing to offer. There's nothing to show. Nothing to show. Even when they have reduced their own percentage from 3% that they're giving the 3% allocation, they reduce it to 3. From 5, they reduce to 3. 5, that is not enough. Instead of increasing it, they reduce it. Buhari reduced it to 3. They could not even protest. They could not protest because, after all, money is coming to their own account. For individuals are suffering it, but for them, it doesn't affect them. Our brothers in the different area, they were there. Even the northern region, northern states, who doesn't have anything to do with oil, they were being forced to be among the states of NNDC. NNDC, they included some northern states that don't have oil. They don't even have rain, let alone talk of oil. They don't have rain, let alone oil. They included in NNDC. The fools in the fools, those Biafran fools in the coastal region, they couldn't even protest. They didn't do anything. Enemies within. They are everywhere. They are in Biafra land, they are in Oduduwa land, they are in the Middle Belt. They are in the north, everywhere. Trying to play the card of the Janjaweed. Britain have handed Nigeria over to Janjaweed, and makes, because it's only Janjaweed that is not ready to have freedom. Even from independent, from before the amalgamation, even from independent, this Janjaweed, the Fulani say they are not ready to have independent. They said it. Go and check the record. Go and make very good. The Fulani say they don't want independent. It was Zik and Awolowo that was pursuing independent. Zik and Awolowo was going for independent. The Fulani say they are not ready. They said they are not ready. Then Zik was telling Awolowo they should wait for these people to be ready. Awolowo tells Zik, let us go and leave these people. They don't want to go. Leave them. Zik say no, that he want to wait for the Janjaweed. You see the result of the waiting today. See the result of the waiting. The people you are waiting for, who told you they don't want independent? Britain, knowing fully well that the Janjaweed don't want independent, they use them to hold us captive in that very contraption called Nigeria. They handed their company over to the Janjaweed. That is why no matter what Janjaweed does, it is good for them. They don't care. With all the insecurity that is happening in Nigeria, people are crying for self-determination. The whole southern part of Nigeria, 99% of people in the south are asking for self-determination, which is a right enshrined in international law, in African charter law, and in Nigerian law. Nobody is supporting. Britain is not supporting it. US is not supporting it. They are all pursuing their own self-interest. And those moles they have among us, all those moles they have among us, they are making sure that we continue to follow them. We continue to bow to them. We continue to bow to the Janjaweed. I will share a video with you. A video of Obasanjo, the recent discussion Obasanjo made with the Northerners when they were talking about security meeting that they have with some criminals, including Sheikh Gumi, that Obasanjo had with them. Obasanjo is one of the moles, one of the enemy within in the southern part of Nigeria, one of the enemy that is making sure that nobody will be free in that country called Nigeria. One of the enemies that is making us to be in captivity is Obasanjo, the greatest enemy. Obasanjo is making sure at every opportunity to see that Nigerian people remain slaves and they will never have freedom. In the recent discussion where they discussed with some Northerners talking about the security issue, they didn't even talk about security in Biafra land. They didn't discuss the issue of Biafra land. They didn't talk about the south and the southeast. They were discussing about the southwest and only and the north, showing you that they have already taken us. They have already carved us out. Even when they gave the security warning, they didn't want south and southeast. Their warning was just only for their own area. And today you can see that everything that we have cried for and said that we don't want are the things that are happening. How long shall we continue to wait on this? I want you to watch this video of what Obasanjo said on that very meeting. Obasanjo started first of all by promoting his own personal self. He first of all began to tell us of his age and his powers. The reason why we must obey him and listen to him. I want to play that video for you so that we can be able to go in deep into this discussion from that video. What this video, what Obasanjo has to say.
One thing that we have in common, Nigeria, Ijaw Nation, if you like. I have never used Yoruba Nation, and I will never, because I believe that my Nigerianness is bigger than my Yoruba-ness. And neither my Yoruba-ness nor my Nigerianness should stand in the way of each other. For me, my Nigerianness is very important because I am more than what I should have been as a Nigerian than as an Oduduwa Republic man.
Did you hear what he said? That he is much more of what he is today, of being a Nigerian than being an Oduduwa person. It is true. Everything that Obasanjo is today is because of Nigeria. Everything that Obasanjo is today is because of Nigeria. And ask me, how did he acquire those things? Everything that Obasanjo have acquired, every name he has acquired, he acquired illegally. Illegally. Even when he came to power as a military government, it was an opportunity that brought him that place. When he became a civilian governor, a president, it was from prison, an opportunity after killing MKO Abiola. After killing MKO Abiola, he was the person that was used to down detention. That has been the way Obasanjo has been an opportunity. Obasanjo is just thinking about his own personal self. He never think about the poor masses. The poor masses in Nigeria, who Nigeria has not offered anything from their birth up to death. He's not thinking about the poor masses, whom Nigeria has no plan, has not offered anything to. He wants us to continue to hold into that Nigeria. He doesn't care about the Oduduwa people who have not benefited anything from Nigeria. They have not benefited anything, and there is no sign that they're going to benefit anything from Nigeria in years to come. Obasanjo is telling you that Nigeria, you should think about Nigeria more than thinking about Oduduwa, because Oduduwa benefited him. So because because Nigeria benefited Obasanjo, we should now begin to worship Nigeria, which is a company. Because the company of Britain benefit Obasanjo, every other person should keep quiet. We shouldn't talk. We should continue to worship that same Nigeria that benefit Obasanjo, that doesn't benefit any other person. Look at how he explained it. That his Nigerianness has made him bigger. Nigerianness made him bigger, made him popular. It is because of Nigeria that he is what he is today. It is true. But what about his neighbors? What about his Oduduwa brothers? What about every other poor person out there? What has Nigeria done to their life? Have Obasanjo taken a roll call? Have Obasanjo taken time to sit down and study other people and see what gain have every other individual, every other indigenous tribe in that contract from Nigeria made? What gain have they made from birth? Some of them have died without gaining anything in the country of Nigeria. But look at what Obasanjo is saying. Let us listen to what he said completely.
One thing that we have in common, Nigeria, Ijaw Nation, if you like. I have never used Yoruba Nation, and I will never, because I believe that my Nigerianness is bigger than my Yoruba-ness. And neither my Yoruba-ness nor my Nigerianness should stand in the way of each other. For me, my Nigerianness is very important because I am more than what I should have been as a Nigerian than as an Oduduwa Republic man. And I believe that that should be the case for every one of us. And again, why should the accident of my place of birth be a hindrance for me as a human being, first of all, and for me as a Nigerian? If I have been born in Sokoto, the chances are.
You see what this madman is saying? You see what this bad man is saying, that his Nigerianness is much more bigger than his Yorubaness and his Oduduwaness. And it should be the same for every other person. Is that the same for every other person? Is Obasanjo so blind that he cannot know that this very opportunity that he has does not apply to every other person out there? It doesn't apply to every other person. The only person that is enjoying this so-called one Nigerianness that he's talking about is Obasanjo and Buhari. Everything that these two idiots have in their life has always been offered by Nigeria. They have nothing to offer Nigeria. It is only Nigeria offering them everything. That is why they are holding it, not caring about the ordinary people who Nigeria has never offered anything to their life. And they will stand boldly, begin to talk down on people. Look at him saying shamelessly, supporting the company, a company that was built by British, a nigger area that was created by British, not created by the Yorubas, not created by the Igbos, not created by the Hausas. Nigger area created by British to serve British purpose. He said that one is much more better for him than for him to fight for that which belongs to him. You don't blame him. How many years does he have to live? How many years does he have? He doesn't care about his unborn children. He doesn't care about his future children. Even with the whole insecurity in that country called Nigeria, when he has seen that Nigeria is so divided that they can never ever be united, nothing on the planet Earth that will make Nigeria united. Yet, look at the kind of statement he's making. This is the kind of people. These are the enemies inside we have. Enemies inside we have. Enemies inside. He went ahead. Where he's making that statement, he was again talking about Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi, who was telling the bandits that the people who are killing them, he was telling the bandits that people who are killing them are Christian soldiers, not Muslims. They are Christian soldiers. So therefore, they should be fighting against Christians and not killing Muslims themselves. Sheikh Gumi, this is the message Sheikh Gumi was preaching. This very man called Obasanjo could not confront Sheikh Gumi with this very thing. He couldn't confront Germany. Shamelessly, he couldn't confront. He wasn't even bold enough to call bandits their name. Watch the video. Let's play another part of the video so that you can see what I'm telling you.
Issues of relationship, issues of language, issues of action we take. Professor Yusuf and Sheikh Gumi came to see me after Sheikh Gumi had gone to the bush to see those boys. I always refer to them as naughty boys. And a number of things were going around before they came to see me. One was that Sheikh Gumi said that the Yoruba, the Christian soldiers were the one that were killing their people or something like that. And the second was that he was anointing bandits. So when Sheikh Gumi came, the first question I asked is, did you really say that Christian soldiers were the one killing your people? He said he didn't say that. And in my making effort to receive them, I've called one person who I thought was important. He said, Gumi.
You see this man you call Obasanjo. Obasanjo is an evil man. Obasanjo is a very evil man. Look at what Obasanjo is saying. That he is implying that Sheikh Gumi was accused falsely of saying that Christian soldiers are the one killing the bandits. This is something that is on the media. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. It's still in the media. Are you telling me that Obasanjo is so dumb that he did not see that video? A video where Sheikh Gumi was telling the bandits that the people who were shooting at them, who are killing them, are the Christian soldiers. That in the military, they have Christian and Muslim. The people who are killing them are the Christian soldiers, not the Muslim. Encouraging them to go after the Christians. The video is out there. Yet, Obasanjo is coming here to deny that fact. Coming here to say that Sheikh Gumi denied it, even when the video is there. Let me play it again for you to hear from him directly.
issues of relationship, issues of language, issues of action we take. Professor Yusuf and Sheikh Gumi came to see me after Sheikh Gumi had gone to the bush to see those boys. I always refer to them as naughty boys. And a number of things were going around before they came to see me. One was that Sheikh Gumi said that the Yoruba, the Christian soldiers were the one that were killing their people or something like that. And the second was that he was anointing bandits. So when Sheikh Gumi came, the first question I asked is, did you really say that Christian soldiers were the one killing your people? He said he didn't say that. And in my making effort to receive them, I've called one person who I thought was important. He said, Gumi, I will never talk to him. I said, well, the good thing, if you won't talk to him, I will talk to him. And I talked to him. And I was wiser for talking to him. Much, much wiser for talking to Sheikh Gumi and his team. The first thing that Sheikh Gumi made me to be aware of is that in where those bandits are staying, they have absolute control of it. And in fact, whether it's the military or the police, they don't go to their camp. I wouldn't know that. And until somebody, an eyewitness, tells me that, I will not know. Now, if that is the case, how then do we solve the problem? Because if we don't know, then we cannot find solution. Another thing he said was that, look, those boys of 13, 14, 15, they are soaked in drugs.
You see this man, you see Obasanjo. This Obasanjo is an evil man. Do you realize, if you watch closely, you can see Obasanjo could not even call these terrorists. He couldn't even call them bandits. He said he referred to them as not boys. Obasanjo could not be bold enough to call them terrorists or bandits. Even bandits, he didn't call them bandits. He said he referred to them as not boys. This was Obasanjo who killed members of OPC. Obasanjo unleashed mayhem on members of OPC, Oduduwa people. Oduduwa People's Congress. Obasanjo killed them. Obasanjo killed people in Udi for no just cause, for no reason. Today, that same Obasanjo is holding a meeting that is supposed to be standing on behalf of the bandits. That is what he's doing. He couldn't even call them bandits. He's calling them not boys. And Obasanjo is denying. He is denying that he did not see the video where Sheikh Gumi told us, was telling the bandits that the Christian soldiers are the people killing them. I am going to play that video for you. For those of you who understand, if you understand Hausa very well, listen carefully to this video I'm about to play. You will see Sheikh Gumi when he made that comment. I understand Hausa very well. Nobody will interpret for me. I understand. If you don't understand Hausa, after this video, share this video to all platforms. After this video, go and look for an interpreter to interpret for you what Sheikh Gumi is saying here. A video that is online, yet Obasanjo is denying it. I want to play the video for you. When Sheikh Gumi said that it is the Christian soldiers that are killing the bandits, so they should go after them. Watch the video.
Amma abin da nake so ku sani ya faɗi sunayen sojojin da suke wayannan ba musulmai bane. Kun san soja akwai musulmi da wanda ba musulmi ba. Kun san da haka ko? To wanda ba musulmin ciki ba domin ya haɗa faɗa su suke irin wannan kisa. to in kun zo ramawa kuka shiga gari wurin ramawa kuma sai aka ga kun kashe namiji, kun kashe yaro, kun kashe tsoho, shine kuma hankalin mutane tashi. Ya za a yi soja su zo su barna, masu aiki su barna, amma in an tashi kuma sai a rama a cikin mutanen gari. Bari ba ku misali, shekaran jiya an kama an yi garkuwa da mutane, cikinsu mace mai hijabin ta da yaro, yanzu haka suna tsare, ko ba ku ji labarin ba. Da irin wannan shi ke ɓata sunan haƙƙinku. An bi an kama yara a makaranta suna.
That is the video. If you don't understand Hausa, look for somebody to interpret for you. At the beginning of that very video, what he said at the beginning of that video, he was telling them that, do they realize that in Nigerian military, they have Muslims and Christians? They said yes. You realize so? They said yes. He told them that when they are people who are killing them, the ones who are responsible in killing those bandits are the Christians. They are the ones killing them. But when they come for vengeance, they will take vengeance on the ordinary people, take vengeance on children, take vengeance on the adults. And that is why people get angry for them. That it is because they are fighting against the other people. That's why people are getting angry with them. But when the people who are killing them are the Christian soldiers. This video is still online. Obasanjo will not tell me that he has not seen this video. But he came here now to vindicate Sheikh Gumi, to make Sheikh Gumi look like a saint. Just like he made Buhari look like a saint. The same way he made Buhari look like a saint. That's the he's making for Sheikh Gumi. This is the kind of people we have in the southern part of Nigeria. Why Nigeria can never ever stand until we destroy it. This is why we are calling for the breakup of the country called Nigeria. For us to have a sane nation where people that reason with their brains are. No human being with his sense is supposed to be listening to somebody like Obasanjo. Nobody. That is why Obasanjo have gone to the Republic to reach an agreement and make sure that they continue to hold Sunday Igboho. Even when Sunday Igboho have won his case in Nigeria, Obasanjo went and reached a deal with Benin Republic and make sure that they should never release Sunday Igboho. That is why they are still holding Sunday Igboho in Benin Republic today. Sunday Igboho that is fighting his own people, fighting for Oduduwa Republic. He has made it clear that he will never ever stand for Oduduwa. He will never do anything for Oduduwa. That he's standing for Nigeria because Nigeria made him whom he is, which is true. Nigeria made him who he is. What about the ordinary people? What have Nigeria done to them? What about the other Oduduwa people, the other Yorubas? What have Nigeria given them? What has Nigeria offered to them? Obasanjo doesn't care. All he cares is about himself, 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 and himself alone. Even in this very program, he started by telling us how old he is and the power he acquired, and for that we should listen to him. These are the bunch of fools, enemies at home, and we have this kind of people in Biafra. We have more of this kind of people in Biafra land. We have more of them. You see one of them recently. I've forgotten his name. Those people, you don't even have to know their name. I've forgotten one of the idiots in the southeastern part of Nigeria recently who made his own video telling us that what should we be talking about leadership? Why should we be why should the Igbos be talking about leadership? That they should leave for the north. That the north are born to rule. Somebody from Biafra land saying that. You see a lot of people, some of those people who are working for them. They have even migrated. They have even migrated up to now. They have penetrated even to IPOB. Some of these criminals have penetrated into a hallowed platform that Martin Agra have built, a hallowed platform of IPOB to save the people, to sanctify the people, a platform of truth and consistency that Martin Agra have established. They have penetrated into it. Some of them today are serving the purpose of the Janjaweed. Some of them are serving the purpose of the Fulani. This is where we find ourselves. Obasanjo went to the extent even to begin to remind us of the evil he committed against the ordinary people. There's another part of the video I want you to watch where he was telling us what he has done, what his group, what his generation have done. The worst generation you can think of, a demonic generation. Obasanjo is bold, telling us what those generations have done. Watch the part, or watch another part of the video.
I said to them, look, whatever you are here for, we should thank USAID for making this possible for you. But if you don't take advantage of the opportunity you have, your future may be in jeopardy. But let me tell you, you will go through history. You will look at those who gave us independence, the generation before my own generation. And we can crucify them again and again. But what we cannot change is that they gave us independence. We cannot change that. I say what you will look, when you look at my own generation, which is the generation following the generation of those who gave us independence, you can crucify all of us and take all of us one by one, and including those who are already dead, dig them up and nail them to the wall. I said that one thing you cannot change is what that generation had done. It fought for the unity of Nigeria, and it laid the foundation of democracy. You cannot.
You see this madman. You just heard what he said. He's telling us about generation before his own generation that they gave us independence. What independent? Is Nigeria independent? Nigeria that you and I know is not independent. Nigeria is not independent. If Nigeria is independent, Nigeria will not need an endorsement from UK and US before they will get a president. If Nigeria is independent, Nigeria will take their decision. They will have a nation that bears a Nigerian name. If Nigeria is independent, Nigeria will not be bearing, it will not be bearing the name of a company. You will not be having the name of a company. But Nigeria is not independent. You and I know that. Nigeria is not independent. And he's here reminding us of that. His own generation, the worst generation you can think of, the generation of Obasanjo, look at him here. Reminded us that it was his own generation that gave us one Nigeria. What one Nigeria? The one Nigeria that have put us in this debt. The one Nigeria that committed genocide against the Biafrans. That is what Obasanjo is reminding us about. A generation that have killed 5 million people and are still killing up to today. That is what Obasanjo is reminding us of. A generation that have caused genocide. Someone like Obasanjo and Buhari is supposed to be in jail. A generation that's supposed to be in jail. Those of them who are alive are supposed to be in jail. They killed the people. They killed 5 million Biafrans to have what he's calling one Nigeria today. He said they gave us unity. What unity? What unity did he give to people? Nigeria is even much more divided now than ever. A Fulani man cannot see eye to eye with any other indigenous tribe in Nigeria. You see the way they are killing people. Killing people right, left, and center. He said he laid a foundation for democracy. Look at him. Somebody like, do Nigeria have any democracy? Is there any democracy in Nigeria? Obasanjo is shamelessly reminding us that he laid the foundation for democracy. You laid the foundation for democracy, which killed your own brother. They killed your brother and handed you over, not to talk. You kept silent. You kept silent. They murdered your own brother, who was supposed to be the symbol of democracy in Nigeria. MKO Abiola. MKO Abiola, even though he wasn't a saint also, but he was supposed to stand, at least we know that somebody who is being voted in. They killed MKO Abiola. That's same your generation killed MKO Abiola. And then they brought you and gave you power. Look at where we are today. Look at where you have led us. After you yourself went, Goodluck Jonathan came in, you pushed Goodluck Jonathan away because Goodluck Jonathan is not in your generation. Goodluck Jonathan is not one of you. You pushed him away and brought your brother, Muhammad Buhari. Muhammad Buhari died. You still support an imposter in Aso Rock. That is why you are now bold to come and tell us that Muhammad Buhari is a dead horse. Because he's dead. If Muhammad Buhari were to be alive, can you be bold to call him a dead horse? Will you be bold to call him a dead horse? Listen carefully to what this idiot is saying and see that there is no truth in this man, and this is one of the enemies we have inside. One of the enemies within in the southern part of Nigeria. One of the enemies that must be taken out. If this kind of people do not leave, if these people do not leave that contraption, we can never be free. These are one of the people we must not listen to. Listen to him carefully and see the kind of case he's making. Things that don't hold water, reminding us of the genocide they have committed, reminding us of people who put us in this calamity that we are in. Nigeria is not independent. Nigeria is not united. Nigeria has no democracy. Yet, you are here, boasting about it, shamelessly. Hear him once again.
I said to them, look, whatever you are here for. We should thank USAID for making this possible for you. But if you don't take advantage of the opportunity you have, your future may be in jeopardy. But let me tell you, you will go through history. You will look at those who gave us independence, the generation before my own generation. And we can crucify them again and again. But what we cannot change is that they gave us independence. We cannot change that. I say what you will look, when you look at my own generation, which is the generation following the generation of those who gave us independence, you can crucify all of us and take all of us one by one, and including those who are already dead, dig them up and nail them to the wall. I said that one thing you cannot change is what that generation had done. It fought for the unity of Nigeria, and it laid the foundation of democracy. You cannot change that. I said, but your own generation and the generation that is coming, that follows our own generation, you must be asking yourself, what will you do? What will they say about you? You have to think about it. And I said, in the last
Obasanjo have asked you and I a question. It's a challenge for you and I. What is going to be what we are going to be remembered for? Our generation, what will we remember for? Let me answer Obasanjo on behalf of our generation. Our generation will be the generation that will end the one Nigeria they're talking about. The British company, we will end it. Our generation will be a generation who will get self-determination for every indigenous tribe in Nigeria. Our generation will be the generation that will make sure that every indigenous tribe is free. That is what our generation will do. Go and tell Obasanjo. Anybody who knows Obasanjo, go and tell him. He is asking us, what will our generation be remembered for? Our generation will be remembered as the generation that stood their ground and make sure that the British company called Nigeria is destroyed and decimated. Our generation will be remembered as the generation that have given freedom, to every other person, every indigenous tribe in the country called Nigeria. That is how we'll be remembered. Tell Obasanjo, go and tell him. He asked us a question. You that is watching me, wherever you're watching me, it's a challenge to you and I. What are we going to be remembered for? You can see he has named their own generation. They have nothing to offer. You and I know that their generation is a failure. Nothing. But if you continue to build on that faulty foundation of those evil generations, if you continue to build on that their faulty foundation, you can never achieve anything. You will never, ever achieve anything. This is the time that you and I will show them that we know what we are doing. Our own generation will redeem this contraption called Nigeria. Our own generation will destroy the contraption called Nigeria and make sure that every indigenous tribe have their independence. Nations, real nations, nations that people can defend and be patriotic to, will emerge from this contraption, this British company. That is what our generation will do. Our generation will make sure that every indigenous tribe in the country called Nigeria is free. Go and tell Obasanjo. That is what our generation will do, and we are doing it already. The Biafrans are fighting already, head on. The Oduduwans are fighting, head on. The Middle-Westerners are fighting. What are they fighting for? We are all asking for self-determination for our people, freedom for our people. It doesn't matter how you try to penetrate the IPOB. It doesn't matter the insiders, the enemies within you are using IPOB to demonize the people, to calm us down. You can never calm us down. And it doesn't matter if you decide to hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is not in your power. Chukwu Okike Abiama will make you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when you don't expect it. You will definitely release him. That is why we will do everything possible to see that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being released by sitting at home. Civil disobedience will increase in the southeastern part of Nigeria. It will increase, and very soon it is infectious. It will affect the southwestern part of Nigeria for the release of Sunday Igboho. For the release of Sunday Igboho and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These two icons, they must be released. Civil disobedience will be activated to a level that will be uncontrollable. That is what we are going to do. If you have not begun to prepare yourself. This is not the time to marry. It is not the time to. You have been celebrating Christmas for a very long time. It is no longer time to celebrate. Sit at home, even on that Christmas day. Sit at home with your family. Cook good ofen salad. Cook a very nice soup with your family and eat. Eat with your family. Stay at home and stop empowering. Stop building the economy of the Janjaweed by buying their cow. Stop it. Each time you pay your money to that cow, you are empowering them. Each time you take your money to buy a cow meat, or you go and buy a cow as a gift to anybody, you are sharing from the guilt of killing innocent people. The blood of innocents, you are sharing from it. You are sharing from the killing of the people. Stop buying cow meat. Stop eating Fulani cow meat. If you must eat cow meat, go and buy our traditional cow, our local cow. The Oduduwa people have their local cow. The Biafran people have their local cow. Buy the local cow and eat if you must eat meat. They have thrown a challenge for us. What is your generation going to be remembered for? What are you going to be remembered for? I personally will be remembered as one of those who made sure that the contraption called Nigeria is broken into pieces and the indigenous tribe have their freedom. I will be one of those who will be remembered as people who spoke up to make sure that the contraption called Nigeria is destroyed, and all indigenous tribe, it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your location, everybody will be free. Self-determination, that very platform that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have given us, we are going to stand on it. Platform of truth and consistency. Until Biafra comes, there's no going back. No man born of a woman can stop it. The freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must surely come, and we will continue until Biafra comes. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect everyone that have joined this broadcast. Please share this broadcast to all platforms. Share it in your WhatsApp group. Share it to your family and friends. Share it to everybody. We must continue. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect everyone that have watched this video. You will see the coming year alive. You will never die. Those of us who are watching from Nigeria, you will never die. No weapon formed or fashioned against your life shall prosper. The killer headers will never see you. All those terrorists, Fulani killers, they will never see you. You will be alive and see the coming year. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect every Biafran, more especially in Imo State. Our youth in Imo State, may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect them. Secure them from the hand of Hope Uzodinma and his killer headers. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect every Oduduwa person, every indigenous person in the country of Nigeria. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect them. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect Sunday Igboho. Secure Sunday Igboho wherever he is. Give him good health. Secure him and bring him back to continue the struggle. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect our Subula Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Secure him. Send doctors from heaven to go and minister to him and heal Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of every disease. Whatever they are injected in the body of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shall never have effect. No weapon formed or fashioned against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shall prosper. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu more revelation, stronger revelation, so that he will continue to send word to us. And at the end of the day, we all be free. Very soon, we will all walk into Biafra land alive, not dead. We will see Biafra very, very soon. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to join us. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you are joining me from. And remember, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide, prosper you, bless you, secure you wherever you go. Be careful this Christmas. It is not a kind of celebration. It is a time for us to do that which is right.